The time has finally come for me to do the finale of my panning project of 2024, and I'm really excited, so let's get started. So before we get into the finale, if you haven't been here before, hi, my name is Asra. You can also call me Ash. I really love makeup and project panning, and I'd be really excited if you subscribed and came along for the ride. Starting off with the palette, I had two for the year. Now, last update, I let you guys know that I had two casualties, which resulted in two of the pans right here being completely destroyed. And I'll be honest, the palette isn't looking much different from last time because I think I've only used it a handful of times. So the total uses for this palette total up to 50, 70. I believe I've used this shade 4 times. After the last update, I mean. Then we have 46. I've only used this shade once more, and then, like I said, this one was shattered, but it has 64 uses total. So yeah, not much has changed about the palette, but fret not, I'm actually taking this palette with me in the year of 2025 to empty it along with another palette that I'll be introducing soon. So I hope you're excited about that, because I know I am. I can't wait to film my introductions for my projects this year, 2025. So yeah. It's a bit of a bummer that I didn't manage to finish this palette because I was really set, hell-bent even on finishing this palette, but alas, we just didn't get there. And I'm really hoping that 2025 will be the year of panning, fingers crossed. As for the Atos Blue Smoke eyeshadow palette, we have not stopped with our flop era because this is what it's looking like today. So I've only used a handful of shades a couple of extra times, and I actually managed to hit pan on this particular shade yesterday, which is in the new year. I'm filming this on January 7th. It's January 7th. But yeah, you can see that I have pan in every single shade in this palette, but that's about it. That's about as far as it goes. This is a total of 37 uses. 15, I didn't use either one of these shades at all since last update. Then we have 23 uses total. I used this shade 4 more times and finally got to hit that pan on January 6th. Then we have this shade that I used 2 more times for a grand total of 30 uses. We have this shade and this shade that I didn't use at all, but this one has 20 uses total and this one 18. I did not reach for this shade at all because I essentially repressed a broken shade into this pan. This is the Kiko Milano water eyeshadow in the shade 15, I believe. Now then we have these two shades. I used this 2 times more for a grand total of 38, and this one I used 5 more times for a grand total of 57 uses. Now, the question remains, am I taking this palette into the new year with my Panla palette? The answer is no. I am, however, going to be working on this palette in my own time and try to use up as much of it as I can. I'm hoping this shade will be the first one to go, and then maybe one of the inner corner shades. But yeah, won't be working with, on this in the Panla palette project next year, but I will be working on it in my own time. But yeah, that's essentially it for my Panla palette or palettes for the year of 2024. I would say I'm not really happy with the results, as I had hoped to at least finish the e.l.f. Bite Size palette in Cream and Sugar, and perhaps even finished 1 or 2 shades from the Blue Smoke eyeshadow palette from Atos, but alas, The results are that I managed to hit 10 pans this year because I had already hit pan. I had already hit pan in the first shade and the second shade, so I had pan in the remaining 2 shades here, and then I hit pan in the rest of these shades except for this one. No, this one didn't have pan yet, except for this one because I wasn't counting it towards last year as I hit the pan this year. So 2 empties, seeing as I managed to use this shade up completely. It was like this cool tone brownish shade, and then this really simple cream shade. So I'm not entirely mad about it, but I do want to up my game for next year, or should I say this year. Next up, the rolling project pan. I'm sure you're very excited to know how I did. And to be honest, in the month of November and December, I was pretty busy with working on my portfolios. I'm not sure whether you have read the posts on my channel, but I do try and update the community, my community tab. But starting off with the NYX Cosmetics Buttermelt Bronzer in the shade 02 All Butted Up. Now, like I said, I haven't been wearing makeup as much as I'd like, so I only reached for this 16, if you count today, 17 more times for a grand total of 36 or 37, which means that I was so close to hitting my 40 use goal, but I just didn't get there because I wore makeup a few times too little to get there. Also, as much as I love this bronzer, it has so much kick up in the pan, and now there's like bronzer all over my little notebook, so love that. So technically speaking, I didn't hit my goal on this, but I got pretty damn close. So ironically, I rolled this little blush in as an extra goal for me to hit, and this is the e.l.f. putty blush in the shade Maldives, and my goal was to use it 15 times, and I have, if you count today. So it was 14 uses, and I used it today, and I'm honestly gonna say I did it. Rolling this out, really happy to say that I did hit my goal on this, my 15 use goal. This is a gorgeous blush. I love it so much. It gives like the perfect I'm cold look. It's pretty versatile. You can wear it with warmer tones, you can wear it with cooler tones. It's just, I love it. I love the formula of this particular one. I'm not sure whether the other one I have in Turks and Caicos has either dried out or the formula is just a bit more iffy to work with because of it being a brighter color, but who knows really. Then we also have the Milk Makeup Lip Plus Cheek in the shade Swerve, and I'm afraid to say that I didn't focus on this as much as I thought I would because I only reached for it 2 more times for a total of 10 uses, so that makes it just 5 uses short of my goal. But hey, at least, you know, at least it got some use on it. It is a really nice blush, but yeah, you won't see much of a difference because I have still yet to wear this little nub down, and other than that you can just see a couple of brush marks. As for the bronzer, by the way, you can definitely tell it's worn down quite a bit since the last time I updated because the swirls in the pan are less and less noticeable. And then as for the blush, you won't really see much of a difference except maybe a bit more of a dip or movement, especially around the middle of the pan, but yeah. Now, I had high hopes for the next product, which is the Clinique Chubby Stick Sculpting Highlight in shade 010 Hefty Highlight. I was sure I was gonna finish this up, but once again, I was a little away from my goal. This is what it's looking like today. As you can see, there's still actually a ton of product inside, so just so you know, every time you dig out the product, there's probably going to be like 3 more months of use in there. I'm taking this with me into the next year, or this year should I say, to make sure that I use it up, because I would love to get a highlighter out of my collection. I'm likely going to try and get 2 highlighters out of my collection this year, but I'll talk more about that in a project tan intro for the new year. So yeah, I used this 12 more times for a grand total of 92, but like I said, didn't manage to empty this, but I still think it's pretty impressive that I reached for this, you know, a decent amount. Now onto the eye products. I have the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade 604 Milk, and I managed to reach for this 14 more times for a grand total of 75. So while I did not empty this stupid thing, I did manage to hit my 75 use goal, and I'm really happy that I did. There's still a ton of product remaining in this little pot, but yeah, I'm just going to be working on this thing in my own time. Should I track it for next year or this year? Just let me know. If not, I'll just work on this in my own time, but either way, I'm happy to have gotten quite a lot of use out of this. Sad that I didn't manage to empty this, but I already knew it the second I scraped the product out of the pencil, that there was just a lot more to go than I had expected. So now we have the Essence Soft Touch eyeshadow in the shade 03 Eternity, and it's just this gorgeous taupe, and my goal was to use it 10 times, and I'm really happy to say that I did. I loved using this in tandem with the palette that I rolled in for my No Pan Left Behind goal, as well as just use it essentially with a lot of looks. I wanted to make sure that I managed to roll at least some products out, so I worked on this one real hard, and yeah, I'm really happy to have this out, which means that thus far I've hit my goal on 3 of the items, which, I mean, it's respectable. I'm not mad about it. Onto the lip products, or should I do the eyeshadow palette first? Let's do it like that. So last update, I rolled in my Forever Flawless Enchanted palette from Makeup Revolution to do a No Pan Left Behind style with it, and this is what it's looking like. I'll make sure to pop up a better picture, but I'll just go over the shades. So to start off with, Sable I used 2 times, Creeper I used 4 times, I used Hazel once, Vine once, Fern once, Grim 9 times, I used Storm once, Frost 4 times, Enchanted twice, Elm 8 times, Illusion twice, Shadow once, Haze once, Inky once, Trance once, and Charm twice, Star once, and lastly Bewitched also once. So yeah, some shades definitely got a lot more use than I planned. This one actually has a pretty decent dip in it now. The skull has really worn down. I'm happy about that, and I think I want to try and hit pan in one of these shades in my own time, or perhaps roll it into a project level up, because spoiler alert, I am going to do so and start that project up this year. So yeah. Now lastly, the lip products. I would say there's a varied success here. So we all knew that this was going to roll out, right? This is the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner in the shade London, and there she is. I used it 5 more times for a grand total of 130 uses, and sharpened it once more for a grand total of 19 times. So yeah, it's so small, so tiny, and there's just no product remaining in this little nub. So really happy to have emptied and used up my first ever lip liner. Feels like an accomplishment, and I'm hoping to maybe finish another one this year, but who knows, we'll see. Now we have a couple of lipsticks. I hope they stop rolling around. So to start off with is the Makeup Revolution Satin Kiss lipstick in the shade Fling, and this is what we're looking like. I'm not really sure if there's much use on it. I think I only used it 3 more times for a grand total of 33. Yes, I was right, 3 more times. And it's definitely gotten a lot shorter than when I rolled it in, but I'm not entirely sure if I managed to use up half of it. But I do think that 33 uses on a single lipstick is pretty good considering the size of my collection. If you're wondering about my makeup inventory video, by the way, it should be going up soon. However, do mind that it's already a little bit dated, seeing as I filmed it in December and we're already in January, and some things did change around, but I'll make sure to put that in the description box, so yeah. Lastly, we have 2 liquid lipsticks that I was sure were going to roll out, or at least one of them, and those are the NYX Cosmetics Lingerie liquid lipsticks in the shade Embellishment and Seduction. I used both of these 4 times respectively for a grand total of 8 and 16, and I mean, you can see a lot of windowing happening, but they're not empty yet. Product still comes out of the wand. Same with this one. One thing I don't like, especially with this one, is how messy it gets. I'm sure you can tell, like around the cap, but that mess gets on all of my products. So it's a hassle to take it along with me in my travel bag or on the go. Like, nothing's safe. It'll just rub off on everything. But you know, we're almost done. I'm going to work on these this year to make sure that they're fucking gone. And yeah, I'm really excited to work on more of my products in my collection, to hopefully get some out, hit pan on some, rotate through them, whatnot. In total, I managed to hit my goal on 22 out of the 28 products that I had in this project, and I'm really happy with that. I think 22 products out of 28 to have my goal hit on is pretty damn good. I do wish I could have rolled out just a couple more products. For example, I'm sure that if I had pushed a little harder, I would have been able to roll out at least these 2, as they were shy from 3 uses and 5 uses. And then if I had worn makeup just a bit more often, I'm sure I would have emptied this thing. But hey, I honestly think I did pretty well, especially with the rolling project pan. And I'm really hoping that you're excited about all the new projects that I'll be introducing. So that's actually going to be it for me for today. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, maybe comment something down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and you can also hit that bell so you'll be notified of every single time I upload a brand new video.